Recently, during a fun question and answer session with Mrs. Johnson, Daniel Fitzgerald asked me this.
Someone sent us this question. Because of the pandemic, church is completely different now than it was. How would you say this situation has affected you, and what do you miss the most?
I gave my answer then, but I want to elaborate. There is one thing I miss the most, but before I tell you what that one thing is, I've got to tell you that there are several things that I miss. Certainly, I miss the congregational singing. Our church is blessed with many terrific musicians, and I miss singing with our congregation gospel-heavy songs like Jesus Paid It All and There Is a Fountain. I miss hearing our church choir. I miss seeing our choir director lead them, and I miss the rich Bible truths that they so enthusiastically sing. I miss handshake time at our church. I miss being able to greet my brothers and sisters in Christ in a fun and friendly way. I miss restocking our church track rack. I know many in our church family have found creative ways to be evangelistic in this pandemic, but now it's considered more socially unacceptable than ever to hand somebody a gospel tract. Unfortunately, our track racks are full, and I miss the routine of restocking them. But the thing that I miss the most about not being able to assemble is the spiritual gifts of God's people. Before this pandemic, every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, I would benefit from the ministry gifts, the teaching gifts, the exhorting gifts, the wisdom, and the brotherly love of our church family. Live stream church, it's a blessing at a time like this, but this pandemic has robbed us of being able to benefit from the spiritual gifts of one another. There is a rich value in the spiritual gifts of a local faith family. Can I say it this way? There's an essential spiritual strengthening that only comes from assembling with a church family. And sometimes we don't realize how important the spiritual gifts are of others until we don't have them anymore. Right now, because churches are not able to assemble, there's a schism in the body, a separation, a division, a split. 1 Corinthians 12 explains that the church is one body but many members. The eye needs the hand and the head needs the feet. Through live stream, church members are able to benefit from their pastor's gifting as he preaches, at least to some degree. But godly church members understand that the live stream, though it's a blessing, is still not the same as hearing preaching in person. And while those godly church members are sincerely desiring to hear their pastor preach in person, many godly pastor friends of mine are starving for the spiritual gifts represented in their church family. So to answer the original question, it's the spiritual gifts of my church family that I miss the most through this pandemic. And believe me, I'm excited to see how God is going to bless when local church families are able to gather again in person. May we never again take for granted the spiritual gifts of our brothers and sisters in Christ.